Yeah, so actually both Invictus Gaming and StarHorn Royal Club had a lot of ties during the regular season right here, so that is still an option. However, while most of the teams still have a best of 2 yet to play the next week, StarHorn, this is the end for them right here. It is the last best of 2 that they will play in the regular season for the LPL, so they want to grab as much as they can, so they will want to get this second win right here.
Exactly, and like you said, if you make a prediction that's not a tie between these two teams, you haven't been watching them all season long. Because they've tied so many times, it's like you expect IG to go into a set and pick up a 1-1, which is sometimes very impressive when they're playing the best teams in LPL, but sometimes very not impressive when they have an advantage and they throw it away. And you can see they almost threw that game top lane in that horrible top lane turret dive, but they managed to bring things back, and at that point, Kid, I think it just reached critical mass. He was way too fed and continued to dominate those team fights, whereas Corrin was just unwilling to dive that back line, just not far enough ahead to make it matter. And the big fault that I had to place in that last game was on Uzi. Like, he didn't, on Uzi, he picked Vayne, and he kind of didn't do anything with it. Like, he had 3 kills and 5 deaths, and yeah, it just, I don't know why you pick Vayne in that spot. Maybe it was for the Maokai, but then at least send it to split push versus Maokai. Didn't have any presence in that manner in game number 1. I'll have to see if he wants to try the Vayne again. I think it's IG have been the ones to just stubbornly pick the same comp over and over and over again. So maybe SHRC will be the ones to break the trend and mix it up a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll get to see, and Zetai, he definitely has a lot of champions in his pocket, so it's not like he cannot like switch it up by a little bit. And this rise was definitely forced out by the Yasuo also. So we'll get to see what IG choose to go for in this next matchup, but definitely they had such a nice performance on Corki, then most probably they will not switch it up. But once again, Lucian ban, that is a must. So the bans will most probably not change for IG.
Well, the bans I want to see is a ban on a Maokai. We didn't highlight him as, oh my goodness, this guy is like making huge plays and controlling the map, because that's never really what Maokai does. What he does is he's just makes your carries so much more effective because they have 20% additional survivability off of his ultimate, and they have almost perfect peel when you just click on somebody, root them down, and they can't get onto your carries if you're playing it defensively. If you're playing it offensively, then they lock somebody down so your carries can kill them, and it's just such a big tank presence that nobody wants to deal with. So I feel like you have to ban out the Maokai, and after that, maybe think about banning out the mid laners, because no matter which AD carries you get on, I want to say both players are going to be monsters, at least as far as Uzi and Kid are concerned, but that Vayne did not look very monstrous in game 1.
Okay, so we are waiting to get into the picks and bans actually. And it is gonna happen in just a second, but well, what do StarHorn need to change? Definitely UZI needs to go for some kind of a different pick, but the rest of the team also was not really doing too well. Cola got shut down in the top lane just because he was over-aggressive. Insec was not effective in the jungle at all. He didn't have a successful gank up until like 10th or 15th minute in the game. And Korn, well, up against the Rise, he didn't have much to say.
Now, once again, IG will target ban Insec, and you know, that was actually not that bad of a ban choice to ban out Insec, force him on the Elise, because Illusion did have the jungle pressure in the bag. Like, he was making all kinds of crazy plays and helped get Kid first blood in game number 1. So you can't really fault them for targeting Insec and forcing him onto maybe a little bit of a weaker jungle presence. But the big question this lane, there's the Maokai ban from StarHorn. Even though they have first pick this game, they still don't want to deal with it. So if they don't want to pick the Maokai first, that means that they're setting up for a different strategy that will involve a first pick of maybe a big OP mid laner or something. But oh, it's the Lucian! Oh my god! How do you let that one through? Ban of the Thresh means there's nothing there for Zero to pick up, and it's a Lucian. Maybe for Cord, but most likely for UZI.
Yeah, but still, there is this Nami that he played in the previous game, but also just coming back to how StarHorn was doing poorly in the previous game. Every single time there was a Nami ultimate, it just hit a Maokai or and Evelyn that they don't really want to focus, oh, that is a risky thing. You either go for a Kassadin or for a Lucian, and IG will most probably lock this Lucian in right now.
Yeah, you can't not pick Lucian. Like, Kassadin at 3.12 is not in his strongest form. Probably not in his final form either. But wait, are IG gonna go with an Italy? No, you have to pick Lucian here. Lucian on 4.12 is just ridiculously good. He's got low cooldown on his Relentless Pursuit. It still removes slows, and you can lower the cooldown even further with auto attack. So it's like, what's not to love about a Lucian pick here? And while we have seen it being played mid, it's just as good in the 80 carry role as LGD showed us last night. So Insec hovering over the Shaco pick right now. He always does this, but he never locks it in. And one day he's gonna like run out of time or something and grab that one down there. But I want the Shaco pick to come back, and I feel like LPL is the perfect place for it to come back. But
yeah.
Yeah, he keeps trolling us for the Shaco pick.
And he has the summoner spells for Shaco too.
What?
Oh,
no!
Yes!
No!
He had the summoner spells for Shaco. I knew it was coming.
No! Insect Shaco pick. Alright, I'm down. And especially when you combo that with Kassadin, that sets up for so many crazy dive potential. Oh my goodness, it's a Shaco. And so many players, LCS, both EU and NA, when they keep getting asked, will Shaco come back, they're like, no, that champion's never gonna see competitive play. Insect's about to make it happen.
Yeah, so LPL is definitely the perfect place to bring the Shaco pick back, and then it comes back, and actually StarHorn, they cannot secure the first place anymore. It is their last best of 2, so it might be a little bit of a troll as well.
Zero looks out of his mind. Zero's just like laughing his butt off there as soon as Insect locked it in. But the question is, what do you pick on SHRC to combo with this? Because I feel like Shaco is a champion you really have to build a team comp around, because if you just let him try to get like maybe snowball early and go for the split push, you have to end this game early, because late game Shaco power is a sentence that nobody says.
Alright, so actually, even before the picks and bans started, UCI alongside with Zero, they were laughing at something. Maybe that was their plan from the very beginning. UCI, does he want to go for this vein again? Yes, he does.
You know,
this game is gonna be weird.
I'm still not a believer, but with like a triple assassin team comp, I guess you could maybe count that as 4 assassins if you keep an eye on the Jax. What is this game? My picks and ban phase is all thrown off, and looks like in the absence of a Rise, gonna go right back to the Yasuo for Zatai.
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely a Yasuo, especially having this Lucian already. Oh, but Fizz.
Oh,
is it a Fizz top lane?
No.
No, it's not, you know, but that would be a pain.
Yeah, you know what I want to see is Gragas jungle, dive comp, or the double melees bottom with Jarvan and Leona, and then you put like a Fizz top lane. Yeah.
It would be a Fizz top lane, Gragas in the jungle, Jarvan in the middle lane, because it once was a viable pick, and Lucian's still in the
Zatai did play that too. So I mean, well, Zatai plays everything, but yeah, it's gonna be Fizz mid, Illusion in the jungle on Jarvan, but with the Shaco pick from Insect, like. The big question here is this a big enough surprise from StarHorn to catch IG enough off guard? Because in solo queue, everybody knows how much of a terror Shaco can be because there's a lack of coordination. But when you're going up against teams that are so coordinated, that have these big shot calls and big, very well planned out level 1 strategies, like, Shaco does not do well against such big coordination. We'll see if he can make an impact. And as one of the only Shaco performances we will ever get to see, Insect better make it count.
Yeah, and as I didn't believe in the Lucian in the middle lane yesterday, I have to believe in the Shaco today, because it did work out well in the end.
I'm glad you learned your lesson, Nero. You see an unconventional pick and you just believe. And Insect, honestly, he brought Rengar out. He was very strong in Lee Sin as well, even from his days back on KT in Korea. And he's always had these crazy aggressive perspectives on how to jungle. So Shaco is pretty much the pinnacle of those, but is it really the pick that that StarHorn will need. I'm not sure if they're just trying new things or if they're having fun, but either way, it is going to be an incredibly fun game. We hop into game number 2, StarHorn Royal Club versus Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, okay, so StarHorn. Is it gonna be the early aggression though with this Shaco? You always want to be looking for the jungle steals. And you also want to be as annoying as possible, pretty much.
Wait a second. Insect's Shaco has 37 ability power. Or no, wait a second. What are those stats? Switch back over. I thought I saw a bunch of AP on
Yep, it was AP.
Yeah, so Insect Shaco has like 35 AP or something on him. That's like super troll. If you pick like these perfect Shaco masteries, what you can do is just box up one buff, walk to the other ones. Your boxes will actually do the entire buff by itself, and then you can actually go for like a level 4 dragon. I don't even know if that still works. That's like one of the old cheesy things you could do with Shaco with a bunch of AP. But I have no idea what Insect is up to this game. This is very strange.
Maybe not strange, but interesting. Let's stay positive about this pick, because I definitely want to see it working out, because I want to see Insect once again getting a little bit of glory for his jungling.
Alright, well... There's only one way to find out. You can see IG are guarding out both their buffs early on because they have to make sure Shaco doesn't start there. But, alright, we're going to pound over him. He has 68 AD, 32 ability power on that Shaco, and he's just going to one-shot this blue buff like so quickly. Make his way off to the next one. Now, IG have warded up their red buffs, so if Shaco tries to go over there, stun on to Cola in the top lane. He's going to drop a little bit of dodge there from his counter-strike. But we'll see if Shaco goes for any of these early shenanigans. No buff steals from Insect early on, and that is really sort of the trademark that Shacos are known for.
Actually, there is a lane swap coming out from Invictus, so do you want to leave Vayne free farming the whole game long? I don't think it's a really good idea.
Well, with the double jungle, that means that there's very little invade potential from Insect, unless he just wants to 2v2 with Cola when he goes for the invade, but... honestly, we're not seeing anything strange out of Insect in these early 3 or 4 minutes. And early game is where Shaco is the strongest, creating so much chaos, has great gank opportunities, but gank opportunity coming mid, but oh, it's Kitty's gonna get spotted out by Corrin's early trinket ward, so no roam potential there.
Yeah, and we have seen the roaming Leonas already in the LPL, and one was just so perfect that it won the game. It was actually Conan from World Lead. There we go. Now Kitty has his Leona, and now he is roaming around the map.
So I have to keep an eye on Shaco, and while I don't want to like tunnel vision too much on that, like last pick it was Uziai's Vayne that just didn't lose his team the game, but really didn't win it for them either. So, oh, Insect's gonna stealth it here. Where's the box gonna drop down? There's the flip in, but with the slow in there, one more hit, and it's all it's gonna take. The ignites, burn it down as a tie. He dives back in. Corrin is dangerously low, but can they find the counter kill? Illusion, so low. The fear, the auto attack, that is the illusion back in. It's Insect. Finding the kills coming his way. 2-0 for the jungle AP Shaco.
And yeah, the reason why they secured the kill onto Zitai was because they had the double ignite right there. Just because Shaco doesn't need the flash, so another perfect thing for StarHorn. And they get the early advantage, and that's where Shaco needs to get fed. If he gets fed in the early game, he can still stay effective later on. And it will actually be a viable pick then.
Well, as far as the early game is concerned, well, looks like Insect is off to a strong start, but really it's less Insect that we have to look for and more like the discrepancy between Uzi and Kid. Like, Kid is not only coming off of a crazy performance in Game 1 on Corki, but now he's on Lucian and arguably even stronger AD carry, and we just saw what happens when you don't shut Kid down in Game number 1, and I don't think SHRC want nightmares of that coming back their way. So Kid has been, or Uzi rather, has had the opportunity to sit in lane and solo farm, and he's doing just as well as Uzi is. So 80 carries coming off of a very passive lane for them, but something tells me Insect may be looking to shake that up, though he has put most of his focus around the mid lane. Do is gonna get dove here, but can he turn this one around? Perfect counterplay there by Illusion. It's a 1-for-1 as he comes in right in the nick of time. But now, oh, it's Zatai looking for the flips on in, dunks him down. Zatai with the roam, taking out Uzi.
Works out quite well for Invictus Gaming in the end, but I don't really know why Uzi really wanted to go for this dive. First of all, he dealt like 2 auto attacks damage and got a little bit of damage in exchange from the turret and had to back away, so that made no sense at all. They didn't go all in, and then it gave enough time for Zatai to follow up and come to this bottom lane. So that was a little bit of a misplayed dive from StarHorn in the bottom lane, and even if you have this Vayne in a 2v1, you just make it lose Uzi. What is going on in your mind right now?
What was so bad about that was that Zatai just walked down the river, and it's not so much that you expect to have that warded out, it's that he's a fish, and where else would you expect to find him but walking down the river? It just makes sense, Nero. You gotta ward that out. But no common sense there from SHRC to ward that and just let Uzi go down there. I mean, honestly, maybe you don't need to ward it if you're just setting your AD carry there to free farm. But now, oh, Kitties is pushing Cola way off that turret, not letting him get any of that XP. But now they're just going to let him come back. And, of course, that is because Insec is walking up the lane.
But I don't think he'll be able to do too much right here. However, if Cola lands a 2-man Counter-Strike, that might be a perfect engage. Well, Zatai, he's on the roam again. Actually, Zatai is roaming on a Fizz much more than Korn is on a Kassadin.
Which is really surprising because I feel like Korn is really underutilized or underplaying this Kassadin pick, and he's 0-1 off the early game, so he does have to be relatively careful. But at the same time, he has the pressure of Insect to back him up whenever he goes for these crazy roams. Now, Cola going in, he's got to get at least a stun onto Kitties, but look at the presence from StarHorn that's coming up. We got to slow onto Kid. He might be able to get out of there in time, but Insect's right there, throws the slow from the dagger, gets the deceive on in there as well. But a missed Zenith Blade means the Kitties will not have the counter engage. SHRC 4-man top and no kills off of that.
A little bit unfortunate, but the slows from the Winter's Bite still landed on towards Kitties. So StarHorn could have just changed the target and got a kill right there, but well, not much happening. They did force out the summoner spells though, so it's still okay. And finally, there is a roam around coming out from Korn, though not a successful one as Zatai's one, just a while back then.
So Insect does successfully steal away the red buff. He's coming off of already getting some counter jungling done, which is what you expect from a Shaco, but after getting those first 2 kills, he really hasn't looked to snowball them, and honestly hasn't had too many opportunities to make that happen, so I guess it's a little bit of a rough life of a Shaco, and he's had to be very careful in his own jungle too with how much Zatai has been roaming around, just to make sure that he doesn't get caught out there. So he's been doing a great job with that too. The real question for me is what StarHorn are really hoping to accomplish off of these early roams of their own. They sent 4 people top lane and didn't really get much done, whereas Zatai, he's been down bottom trying to harass Uzi, has killed him once. And now it's IG who are looking to set up for their first dragon of the game.
Yeah, and IG, even though they lost a little bit in the early game, now they come back with a third, with a dragon. And once again, it's StarHorn who are on the disadvantage. Unfortunately, because this Shaco pick was quite good. Like 5 minutes in, but right now it begins to be a little bit ineffective. Finally, he hit level 6. But on the other hand, we have Illusion.
Doing a shark onto Korn, but it's not enough. A nice Rift walk out will keep him safe and sound there. Uzi is by himself here in this bottom lane, but not for long. Insec and Zero are coming up from behind. Now, Insec hasn't been spotted out here. He will stealth himself in there. I don't think they saw the smoke poop. There's the slow coming in there. The dagger's down as well. Kitties is going to get feared out here too. Condemned backwards even through the Zenith Blade. Uzi find a kill off the Shaco gank.
Yeah, and actually in the middle lane, when the Shark came out, jumped the waters, of course, from his die, Illusion was there, but he didn't follow up. So,
Oh, now
well, the
Insect.
Rift wasn't up.
Illusion smiting out the box so he doesn't get feared and chasing Insect out of his own jungle. Insect wisely clearing out the ward that scattered him out. And now once again safe and sound, but still having good gank pressure out there on the map. He's 201, so playing this Shaco very, very carefully. Now looking to get in here on to Zatai. Zatai flips in there. He's got nowhere to go, but he's got backup in the form of Illusion. Zatai now going to get jumped on by the Rift Walk from Korn. They find the kill there. The dunk onto Insect will finally kill him off there, but can they turn that back around onto Illusion? No, the bottom lane's where they're going for the dive again. Uzi Eye going down through the turret, taking out Kid. And Zatai dead as well, so a 2-for-1. Nice trade for SHRC.
Nice trade indeed, but unfortunately in the middle lane, Insect still died. There was the clone, and I don't think that Illusion really 100% knew which one was the real one. But Insect
That's because it's an
did die in the
illusion.
end. No,
Anyway.
just now.
Off of the Shaco ganks, he finally does die, but it's a little bit too late in the game for that to, for the first death on Shaco to really matter that much. He's got his big core items, the mobility from the mobility boots, aptly named, and of course, Wriggle's lantern. Shaco traditionally will go for like the attack. Oh, it's gonna be stealthing in. Insect goes right back in onto the mid lane, throws a slow out from the dagger. No follow up. A little bit of a reaction there from Zatai, finally learning his lesson after getting kind of focused so much early on. Now Cola will land a stun there. Holy Doe will not be liking that lane too much. Insect's gonna make him like it a whole lot less. Stealthing in there through the bush, doesn't want to get scouted out there. Throws the dagger down, but no crit from the illusion auto attack.
And Cola actually, finally, he's not up against a Maokai, so he can do something. But though definitely not being too comfortable in this top lane, I don't really see that. And Insect, being really aggressive right there. But Illusion, once again, is there for the backup.
And honestly, Illusion is doing a really good job, not necessarily counter ganking, but just being in the area in these high ganks pressure kind of situations, knowing that Insect will be there sooner or later. Didn't manage to pick up a kill up top lane, so as Shaco, you're kind of on a clock. He's doing a great job clearing camps and keeping his CS up, but he's still down versus Illusion, and he won't get the conservation gold from letting it stack up, so he has to actually actively kill camps to get the bonus gold and get that farm up from the Wriggles. So Zatai will find himself a blue buff, but look at the pressure coming down mid lane. Cola does have his TP up, so if they want to really go for a hardcore dive, then he'll be able to reposition himself adequately. 3 in the mid lane. Not sure what all this pressure is about. I mean, Dragon's not going to be up. They're not putting any pressure down onto the turret, so really just looking to set up probably picks from Insect and Korn.
Yeah, but the CS difference is actually in favor of Invictus gaming on pretty much every single lane, with the exception of bottom, where it's dead even. Well, yeah, it's all about the next dragon.
I mean, IG did get the last one, I believe. So
Yep,
StarHorn,
they did.
that's what's keeping them so close there in the gold. And I mean, nobody's really with all the pressure on Zatai. He's still 10 CS up. He's not really been crushed away from any big items. He's gonna be able to recall back to base and hit his Lichbane power spike. So that's actually pretty huge. And I mean, Kassadin's got a good one with his Rod of Ages, but even that will take time to stack up. So you're really not in that bad a spot if you're IG. Shaco's been effective, but not effective enough to just snowball him out of control.
Actually, IG killed this dragon unnoticed, so StarHorn do not have the timer right there. They did not have any chances of going for a contest. And so IG might have the advantage on this one, but... Well, there's Insect.
Yeah, Korn is actually playing defensively in the mid lane versus Fizz, because it's not a 1v1 matchup he's going to win, but it's one that he works very effectively in when he does have the follow-up from that Shaco. And actually, excuse me, over the ward bottom lane, Insect's trying to make his presence known, but like I said, he's been scouted out by a ward, so it's not really a mystery for IG what they're looking for.
Well, that's interesting. Actually, Kid just used his calling, so he will not have that up for the dragon fight, I think. But yes, StarHorn do not have the timer on this dragon, so it will most probably be up in time in the end.
So many wards down there around the dragon area. I mean, Insect better just like walk around everywhere with a pink ward just so that he can try to clear all these out. He's standing on a ward right now, and oh, there's the knockup. They don't actually hit it. Insect is going to deceive his way on out of this one. Illusion might have just overcommitted into this. Uzi is going to avoid that solar flare, and he is still at maximum effectiveness in this fight. Kitties will get the lockdown on him, but Uzi is going to get a lot of peel from Zero and Cola, trying to make that known. Now Kid is in the back line, but Insect still has enough presence to get on there. No, he's going to get blown apart there by Zatai as he dives in there. Insect gets taken out, and Zatai with the one shot, but overall a 3-for-1 in favor of StarHorn.
Yeah, definitely in favor of StarHorn, and now they are gonna go for this dragon finally to take it out without any problems. And yeah, that was really low on health. Zatai almost got caught right there, but he had the play for Trickster. So it still could have even been an ace for StarHorn, and they definitely were the stronger ones in this fight.
I'm pretty sure the kill that Insect picked up in that fight was off of his clone getting the kill, not his actual Shaco. I think that was the clone, but because it looked like, yeah, he died and then the clone got the kill, so nice job there, Insect, able to still come out with some fancy mechanics. Did die, was the only casualty, but still it's a victory well won by StarHorn, who pick up the dragon even without their jungler.
And Do got a lot of damage from this clone actually, so yeah.
Uzi tumbles in, he can't get away, but look at that materializing out of nowhere. 4v1 in the mid lane. Uzi baited that so hard. He tumbled in for the auto, got jumped, and then StarHorn's just like, just kidding, we were here all along. Great bait, 8 out of 8 there for Uzi. Winds up picking up his team up a kill on Illusion.
Yeah, and there was this Cataclysm, and Zatai was like, I want to jump in, I want to get a kill, but
holy
there's the
solar flare! Look at that, Batman! It's the Kitties coming in,
diving the third.
He's going down, and now his Scorn trying desperately to escape Kid. He'll be able to rift walk back away there. Doe looking for a catch here on a Zero, does land the body slam. The explosive cask is flashed away from him.
The flash.
But it's a horrible way to flash. Insect does make his way out of there with the deceive. Nice juke there, Zero. You flashed into the enemy team. And a big counterplay from Illusion. Take out the middle lane turret.
Wow, that was so close actually, because StarHorn were diving the turret on IG's side. That was not a great idea, but they did pull it off quite well. They got a little bit of kills, but IG, they did get something in exchange. So, well, StarHorn do have to reconsider the next time they go for such crazy play.
Man, this game, like all games will be between these two teams, is incredibly back and forth. Half the time it's Shaco just like carrying out the early game, but he's starting to maybe hit that big sort of dip where everybody else gets so strong that it's a scary world for Shaco jumping into so much damage, especially with Zatai. Needlessly large rod in hand, he'll be looking for Azania's most likely as his second item. Now, setting up not really for the dragon, but more for these crazy pick burst combos. This game is so fun because it's all about like both teams baiting each other out. We'll get a replay here of this dive. Now, SHRC are going to be the ones that over dive this. Kitties gets into the back line and immediately locks up Uzi. And look at that beautiful solar flare. That was just so choice, if I do say so myself. Now, Kitties in the back line, he's going to die. But look at Corrin. He gets beset by Kid, who's going to chase him all the way out of the fight. And with Kid out of, or with Cassidy out of the picture, Kid now is free to do all this damage. Now look at Zero. He's going to dodge this explosive cast by flashing into the middle of the enemy team. A little bit mispositioning there, and just the narrowest of escapes for Insects after he will use that deceive on out of there.
Yeah, and Kid actually used Relentless Pursuit, and if he had the vision on Insect, Insect would have been dead. That was a crit from this auto attack. And he had the double one with the Light Slinger passive, so that was pretty lucky actually by Insect, but also that was a little bit of a miscommunication by SH, and there we go.
Again coming into the mid lane, Zatai gets blown apart. Corrin is gonna tick down from the ignite, he gets taken out, but look at Uzi, he just goes hard in there, kills off Kitties. He's going in for Kid, he flashes out, he's still alive, but he's gonna go down there. No, he stuns Doe against the wall, and now it's Insect coming in from behind the wall. Doe is in trouble, Insect's gonna dive him out there. Are they over diving this? Insect might die here to the turret, but look at Kid going all the way. It's a... Wait, is that a pentakill?
Yes,
Holy
it is.
pentas! What on earth was that? They dive the mid lane turret, Insect comes in for the follow-up, and UZI! What was that, StarHorn?
Oh, man, I waited for this UZI performance on the Vayne for so long, and he gets it right here alongside with Insects. Shaco play in the jungle, but UZI, he was doing so well on Vayne like a year ago, and then he comes back and he fails at it miserably for like a couple of weeks, and now he brings it back
Oh
once again
my
and
God.
gets a penta and,
And
obliterates the
The way
enemy
this
team. There we go, the
starts
replay.
is a really good way start for UZI. You can see he's back in the back now. Korn does die, and so UZI is literally the only carry. But he has so much damage, and more than the damage is like, look at this outplay. So he dives the turret, finds Kid, gets the kill, flashes back out, and he stuns Go against the wall, so he can't detonate his explosive cast now, or his barrel roll. Now Illusion overcommits, and that's where Insect comes in, and at this point, you can see nothing but Penta written all over UZI's face. He dives down. Now Insect is totally willing to sacrifice his life, but he actually just gets barely out of range of the turret, survives, and there's your LPL cake fans right there. An incredible pentakill for UZI's Vayne.
No, that was just incredible. And now IG, well, they don't really look too healthy. Oh,
I've
UZI.
used up my words for this game, man. And I want to apologize to headphone users everywhere for breaking my voice along with everything else. Now, oh, Zero. Okay, Zero, a little bit of a miss there, but might still go for the kill on Kitties. Look at Insect, he's coming in, wanting to make his presence known. He's actually going for... Wait, is this the counter? Insect throws down his ultimate just to dodge out a little bit of that damage. Explosive cask is used, but Doe is... I'm not sure what that sound effect was from the Chinese caster. Zatai winds up landing that fish onto Cola, and it's going to be Korn coming in for the follow-up, and look at UZI, he's going nuts in the back line. He'll kill off Kitties, but no, the flash delay away might actually keep him safe. He's going to tumble into the Cataclysm.
Big crit.
Yeah, and there he is. It's actually Cola, or Korn rather, taking down the kill on to Illusion. 3-for-1 exchange as Cola did die there, but oh, Kid might be looking for the outplay, but it gets condemned against the wall, and there's Korn with a backup. This has been, like, StarHorn, I imagine they have these little police radios. They're like radioing in for backup every time they get jumped. First, it's UZI baiting, and that's like the third time that he's done that. He's gone in knowing that it's a bad situation, and Korn's just come in for the backup cleanup duty.
Oh, wow, that was just so huge. Once again from StarHorn. And actually, Kitty stays alive with a flash, but there was Illusion in the middle of the fight. There is the tumble auto attack from UZI that takes like half of Illusion's health. That was incredible. This Vayne is unstoppable right now, and that's the Vayne that we are always talking about, that we want to see. The previous game, UZI got completely shut down, and now, in the 20th minute, he gets a pentakill, and it's not like anyone can stop him or something like that.
UZI silencing all naysayers of his Vayne performances, and while in game number 1 it left much to be desired, I don't think there's anything else that you could want out of a Vayne. He gets a pentakill, he's 10-2-7, and after Insect had the most kills on his team for the majority of this game, even Korn's come back and is now 5-2-6, so... Shaco's there for the early game. He's got the rest of his team to back him up late. Cassidy and Vayne, once those guys get going, late game's still looking good for StarHorn. IG, not showing up in the same way that they did last time. Last time, Doe was top lane on, I believe it was Maokai, and had a very standout performance there. Didn't wind up picking up very many kills, but he set up so many more for the rest of his team. So this time around, I mean, you kind of have to look at Zatai. He's 3-5 on a Fizz. He's got the damage and the the utility that he needs in the Lich Bane, the Sonya's Hourglass. But really, who's he gonna go dive in? Because StarHorn are gonna be the ones initiating these dives.
Okay, but we still do have 4 kills on this Jarvan. And Kid was trying to go for the outplays and was really close to pulling them off, but
Oh, and
Insect...
this might be the Uzi Eye that we've been waiting for. A nice fish, but it doesn't hit. And now Doe is going to be the one in a bad spot. Body slamming his way back towards the team. Big explosive cast. Probably will keep the rest of his team safe. Unless Uzi Eye's got other plans. He just dives headlong into the middle of the enemy team. He's staying alive. He gets the heals, but he does go down to the last tick from Zatai. But IG are in full route right now. Corn's gonna be able to rift walk in there, gets the follow-up kill for the ace. StarHorn Royal Club find their second ace of the game.
And after this pentakill, you can see that StarHorn do not really care about anything else than just grabbing the kills. So right now, the kill counter is gonna jump up by a lot.
This is Trinity Force Shaco. I'm actually really interested in that because traditionally you'd see something like a Static Shiv Infinity Edge from a lot of solo queue Shacos, but honestly nobody really writes the book on how to play Shaco because honestly nobody really does, especially not in big competitive settings like this. So Insect with a Trinity Force, if you guys looking to build Shaco like Insect does, he's making it work in LPL. It's a Trinity Force after a Pharaoh Flare, and now maybe Blade of the Ruined King coming up next.
Maybe that would be really interesting. This Shaco is already really strong, and you actually saw that he just went for a play over the wall and getting a quick kill for UZI once again. And yeah, getting a Baron should be quite an easy task for StarHorn at this point.
Well, now everybody watching IG's games knows to, or StarHorn's games knows to ban Shaco against them in the playoffs, Nero.
Or at Worlds.
If we see any Shaco bans anywhere, I'm gonna cry tears of joy for LPL viewers everywhere. Baron started up here. IG know exactly what they need. Where is Illusion with the steal? He flashes over the wall. It's Insect, gets the Baron, and now it's StarHorn looking to clean up this fight. They've got a ton of damage to the back. Just look at Corn. He's going nuts. Finds one kill. Another one. Cola's dead, but Corn still got the damage he needs. There's actually Uzi Eye there to pick up the third ace in a row for StarHorn. Every single fight, they gotta kill them all.
Yeah, and Illusion was there, but Insect, even though he was stunned by Solar Flare at the very beginning, he still won the Smite fight.
Insect, why haven't you been doing this all game long? Like, do you really save that for this last game versus IG? I mean, I guess you don't have too many things to lose, but if you have to win a game and perpetuate the stereotype that SHRC and IG have had all season long, it's splitting 1-1, and they are poised to make this another 1-1 split, as they are very, very far ahead. 15,000 gold. Okay, 14,500 gold if you want to be technical, but pink ward over the wall. StarHorn there looking for a pick on a Doe. They get it. The teleport's coming in as well, but Doe is out of there. Flash, body slam.
Kid is in the rage, definitely.
Oh my gosh, now Corn's gonna get a nice slow. There's a follow-up slow from Zero. Doe is gonna go down there. Maybe Zatai's got enough damage to turn this one around. Turns down the Shark, but Azanias keeps Corn alive. And now, Kitties, poor Kitties, goes down to Corn. StarHorn with a big dive. Might see Uzi Eye dive through the turn, but he gets caught by the Cataclysm. He's gonna try to lifesteal a little bit off of that ward. Don't dive the Jarvan. Uzi Eye, it's a little bit caught out there. Illusion makes it out alive.
And Corn picked up a triple kill right here. He might have been looking for another penta after what UZI did, but unfortunately, Zatai doesn't want to give it to him. And yeah, StarHorn, like, after this pentakill already, it was their game. Of course, IG could have turned around, but right now, oh man, that's just impossible. How do you win against a Vayne with 13 kills, 12 assists, and such awesome items?
And keep in mind, this is Insect Shaco, like, started out with 35 ability power. I didn't know what direction he was going, so he starts off with a bunch of AP just to make his boxes really strong for the early clear, and then he just builds, you know, straight up attack speed and damage after that. So I'm gonna have to get this guy's rune page. I expect detailed articles and breakdowns on how I too can play Shaco in solo queue and feed super hard, but Insec is making that work out, and really everything is working out really well for StarHorn. They had the early Shaco pressure and follow-up that got Shaco going. It got Kassadin going just a little bit with all that early pressure, and then Uzi, even though he didn't have an outstanding early game, just said, all right, look guys, hop in the backpack, we're going home. Pentakill, dive through the mid turret, and then ace after ace for StarHorn after that. But once again, you can never rule out anything from either one of these teams. No matter how far ahead you get, there's always turnaround potential. And by turnaround potential, I mean throw potential, because both of these teams know exactly how to get leads and then leave them very far behind.
Yeah, and IG are the special ones right here in terms of that. They are the ones that aren't famous for losing a lot of huge leads.
StarHorn finally pushing down the bottom lane pressure onto the base turret. Now, one thing to talk about, okay, you've got the inhibitor down middle. Insec can just go for the split push, but honestly, the top lane wave is pushed way too far, so StarHorn in kind of a precarious situation. Oh, the flash is the tie! Holy cow, that distance, he covered it all and took out Insec in the blink of an eye.
But there's Corn.
He's way in the back lines, and now Kitties is gonna die there in the back. Kid might actually get taken out. Corn finds the kill on Illusion, and now Uzi, he is in no man's land. Kid looking for the kill, but he gets condemned against the wall. Shut down, and another kill for Kassadin. Corn is just going all the way, finds every single kill, and IG aced again. StarHorn find the win in game number 2.
恭喜皇族拿下第2局，而且打成了1比1的平手，各得1分，恭喜两队。
Wow, that game was just outstanding, and UZI coming back to his former form, and guess what? The Worlds are coming. Is StarHorn destined to get the second place again? May happen.
Well, once again, a 1-1 split between these two teams, as was probably expected, given that they are the two most tied teams in LPL, and just an incredible performance across the board. Both games, game 1, it was Kid just killing everybody. He had 15-2 performance, I believe, on his Corki, and then of course in game 2, it's Uzi's turn. Time to shine. So congratulations to both teams. It is a 1-1 for our first best of 2 of the night, and that will close things out there. That means we'll be moving on to our second best of 2 coming up in just over an hour. It'll be about an hour and a half, and we'll head into LGD versus World Elite. So stick around, or just make sure to come back in about an hour and a half for LGD versus World Elite, the best of 2 of their own. This is the LPL, of course, brought to you in part by our friends at Esports Heaven and Games in Asia. Of course, broadcast to you guys here in English on Twitch TV. I am Rapid. I'm here with Nero. We'll be back in about an hour and a half for LGD versus we.
我将用我的勇气，正是每一个人给我的评价。不管是批评，还是鼓励，我都会转化成前进的动力。
To make it matter, and the big fault that I had to place in that last game was on Uzi. Like he didn't, on Uzi, he picked Vayne, and he kind of didn't do anything with it. Like he had 3 kills and 5 deaths, and yeah, it just I don't know why you pick Vayne in that spot. Maybe it was for the Maokai, but then at least send it to split push versus Maokai. Didn't have any presence in that manner in game number 1. We'll have to see if he wants to try the Vayne again. I think it's IG have been the ones to just stubbornly pick the same comp over and over and over again. So maybe SHRC will be the ones to break the trend and mix it up a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll get to see. And Zetai, he definitely has a lot of champions in his pocket, so it's not like he cannot like switch it up by a little bit. And this rise was definitely forced out by the Yasuo also. So we'll get to see what IG choose to go for in this next matchup, but definitely they had such a nice performance on Corki, then most probably they will not switch it up. But once again, yeah, so actually both Invictus Gaming and StarHorn Royal Club had a lot of ties during the regular season right here, so that is still an option. However, while most of the teams still have a best of 2 yet to play the next week, StarHorn, this is the end for them right here. It is the last best of 2 that they will play in the regular season for the LPL, so they want to grab as much as they can, so they will want to get this second win right here.
Exactly, and like you said, if you make a prediction that's not a tie between these two teams, you haven't been watching them all season long. Because they've tied so many times, it's like you expect IG to go into a set and pick up a 1-1, which is sometimes very impressive when they're playing the best teams in LPL, but sometimes very not impressive when they have an advantage and they throw it away. And you can see they almost threw that game top lane in that horrible top lane turret dive, but they managed to bring things back, and at that point, Kid, I think it just reached critical mass. He was way too fed and continued to dominate those team fights, whereas Corrin was just unwilling to dive that back line, just not far enough ahead.
Need to change. Definitely UZI needs to go for some kind of a different pick, but the rest of the team also was not really doing too well. Cola got shut down in the top lane just because he was over-aggressive. Insec was not effective in the jungle at all. He didn't have a successful gank up until like 10th or 15th minute in the game. And Korn, well, up against the Rise, he didn't have much to say.
Now, once again, IG will target ban Insec, and you know, that was actually not that bad of a ban choice to ban out Insec, force him on the Elise, because Illusion did have the jungle pressure in the bag. Like, he was making all kinds of crazy plays and helped get Kid first blood in game number 1. So you can't really fault them for targeting Insec and forcing him onto maybe a little bit of a weaker jungle presence. But the big question this lane, there's the Maokai ban from StarHorn. Even though they have first pick this game, they still don't want to deal with it. So if they don't want to pick the Maokai first, that means that they're setting up for a different strategy that will involve a first pick of maybe a big OP mid laner or something. But oh, it's the Lucian! Oh my god! How do you let that one through? Ban of the Thresh means there's nothing there for Zero to pick up, and it's a Lucian. Maybe for Korn, but most likely for UZI.
Yeah, but still, there is this Nami that he played in the previous game, but also, just coming back to how StarHorn was doing poorly in the previous game, every single time there was a Nami ultimate, it just hit a Maokai or an Evelyn that they don't really want to focus. Oh, that is a risky thing. You either go for a Castin or for a Lucian, and IG will most probably lock this Lucian in right now.
Yeah, you can't not pick Lucian. Like, Kassadin at 3.12 is not in his strongest form, probably not in his final form either. But wait, are IG gonna go with an Italy? No, you have to pick Lucian here. Lucian on 4.12 is just ridiculously good. He's got low cooldown on his Relentless Pursuit. It still removes slows, and you can lower the cooldown even further with auto attack. So it's like, what's not to love about a Lucian pick?
Lucian ban, that is a must. So the bans will most probably not change for IG.
Well, the bans I want to see is a ban on a Maokai. We didn't highlight him as, oh my goodness, this guy is like making huge plays and controlling the map, because that's never really what Maokai does. What he does is he's just makes your carries so much more effective because they have 20% additional survivability off of his ultimate, and they have almost perfect peel when you just click on somebody, root them down, and they can't get onto your carries if you're playing it defensively. If you're playing it offensively, then they lock somebody down so your carries can kill them, and it's just such a big tank presence that nobody wants to deal with. So I feel like you have to ban out the Maokai, and after that, maybe think about banning out the mid laners, because no matter which AD carries you get on, I want to say both players are going to be monsters, at least as far as UZI and Kid are concerned, but that Vayne did not look very monstrous in game 1.
Okay, so we are waiting to get into the picks and bans actually. And it is gonna happen in just a second, but well, what do StarHorn